Well, hi there everyone, this is Scott Nicholson again, and here I am doing the wrap-up of my time at the Game Developers Conference. I'm here on a streetcar in San Francisco, and part of what they allow you to do is sort of sit here and hang on the outside as the car goes along. You can see we got a nice view there, and a much nicer view over here of the bay. But here we go, we're starting to move. So, what have I thought about this time? So, you know, as I've mentioned on these videos, I'm primarily interested in board games, but I've been a video gamer as well. Now, GDC for a board gamer, I wouldn't suggest it. If that's all your interest is board games, then I don't think GDC is going to have what you're looking for. That said, I got some really interesting ideas out of the level design thing I went to, out of Sid Meier. There's some interesting concepts of what's going on. And every morning, by the way, if you're here, at 7 in the morning, you can, from about 10 till things start, you can actually go to the 3rd floor of the convention center and play games. So now for me, I actually do play video games, and so I thought, you know, for me I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to game designers talk about how they do design and thinking about that concept of board games. I actually did get inspired in this thing. One of the ideas that I got was actually to create what I'll call a conversation game. You know, I've been wanting to do an app-developed game for a long time, and I think we've been missing the mark in board game space with app development. So, you put it in the middle of the table, and everyone stares at it instead of looking at each other. And I find that to be a bit of a problem. So what I've been doing is thinking a lot about what actually goes on during a board game. And could I create an app-based game that captures some of the things that happens in the game, but would be facilitated by an app? And I finally, being here, gave me the inspiration to say, aha. So that's actually going to be my next design project, is to create an app designed to bring about a party game environment, but really just to use the iDevice to facilitate it. So I'm excited to get started with that. So would I suggest GDC for you? If you're just a board gamer, no. I don't think it has enough value for you. If you play video games as well, then you may find quite a bit out of it. You may get to enjoy seeing the video games, seeing the new games, the independent games. That's actually something that's happened this year that's been quite interesting, is there have been a lot more independent games that have gotten awards and been recognized and been seen as cool games than before. And there's a bit of a trend. And what's cool about that, so in the last few years of video games, things have actually been pretty stagnant. A lot of the titles are just generating, you know, number 2, number 3. If you look at the top 10 list of video games, you're going to see a lot of repetition, a lot of numbers at the end of the titles. While in the board game scene, we've actually been doing a lot of interesting things. However, there are some sequels in the top 10 board games, the Dominion games. And it does seem like some of the board game companies are spending more and more time iterating and doing the same kinds of things, just slightly different. And in the video game space, now you have these independents that are starting to get involved and starting to create interesting and new video games, and you're seeing a lot of growth and interest there. And I'm predicting that we're actually going to see it continued in that growth. That we're actually going to see that not only help people see a variety of game mechanisms, but the large game companies to sort of get ideas of how they can test things. One of the interesting themes I've seen throughout these conferences and where we're moving is this concept of creation. The concept of creating tools to make it easier for people to make their own stuff. Because creation is really where a lot of the power of the games comes. When not only are you playing the game, but you got to make the game. You get to share through the creation of that. And so for me, that's been pretty inspirational, really thinking about how do we make it easier for people to make stuff? How do I make stuff? And I want to encourage you, how do you make stuff? How can you get out there and get involved and create? So this is kind of how I feel right now. I feel like, you know, I'm just starting a lot of this work on gamification, and it's at the top of a hill, and I'm not really sure, well, what's going to happen as I start to go. As I start to slowly go down the hill. And what's going to happen on the other side? Well, I don't know. I'm hoping I can see a track of where my gamification could go, but I don't know like that. This is how I feel. Things are speeding up. Things are going quickly. It's a little crazy. It's a little out of control. But the reality is, you know, with enough work, enough hard work, and enough discussion, I think my ideas, they'll go somewhere. I'm really hoping to make a difference. So this is public transit here at San Francisco. If I don't make it, I'll say that I love you to my spouse and partner who supported me all those years, just in case this doesn't work out. But we've got. Well, I did make it through all of that. I'm back home. I just got home from flying in. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed my views of GDC. By the way, if you this is the first video from Game Developers Conference you're seeing, if you go back and look at my YouTube channel at S. Nicholson, you'll see 4 or 5 other videos that I made throughout the week while I was there. So go take a look, and I will catch up with you all next week and let you know what I'm doing then. So take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.